Hi guys, Lindsay here. So I am tracking some of these little mid-morning showers. I'm actually on the Channel 12 website. You can actually track some of the rain coming in. So this is over the last about 20, 30 minutes. You can see, as I expected, I was definitely thinking we would have some activity kind of rolling between 9 and 1. And that's what we're seeing right now. The intensity, if I go backwards, really decreasing because there's not a good environment for these showers to continue. So that's one thing that I'm tracking this morning. But the other thing is about the intense heat. And I want to make it very clear that we are talking dangerous heat. So I was just talking to Mallory Anderson about cooling places in Milwaukee County. The latest from the city of Milwaukee, there are dozens of them. If you go to their website, city.milwaukee.gov, it's up here, you can see all the different cooling sites that are available. And I can even zoom in. I can click on one. Since I'm from the south side, I am from the Franklin area. Something close to me would have been, it looks like this location here, the Oak Creek Public Library. Yes, that is definitely a place that you could go. Any library, free to get in, read a book, enjoy the free air conditioning. You can go to any mall, kind of walk around, get yourself like an iced coffee or something. It definitely would be a good idea to do some of that this weekend because we're talking dangerously hot temperatures. So how hot are we talking? Well, looking at the weather models this morning, I did see that a lot of places I think are easily in the mid 90s. All this heat, look at this right here. We are going to be peaking in those 90s. The big part of the heat is quite frankly going to be areas to the west of us. I think there's going to be some extreme heat, especially for us going into Sunday. We have hundreds over here, and that's not even including the heat index. The heat index is what's going to make it feel like the triple digits. We call that like apparent temperature. And what's important about the heat index is that it takes into account the dew points, which are super soupy. So as you can see here, here's our big ridge. These are the extreme temperatures. This is 21Z on Saturday, and you can see we are in this dome of heat. I think we peak, Sunday, I would say, right here. See the big ridge of high pressure over here, bringing all that heat in with southwesterly winds. So the thing about having high heat is one thing, but when you add in the dew points, look at that. It's just like soup. It is soup here. Some of these models are popping dew points in the mid 70s. That's crazy. But with that, I do believe that we will have temperatures that feel like the mid, or I would say like 105. I was going to say mid 100s, but that's 150, 105, so 100 to about 105, maybe even as high as 110. Some of the models were suggesting that. And as long as we stay under that ridge, which is this right here, we look to the upper levels, you can see that ridge right here, which will finally break down, go to the East Coast, and then we get under the influence of what I like to call ridge riders, which are showers and storms that kind of hug right along the top of that ridge as it breaks down. So this weekend, just know ways to stay cool, loose and light clothing. Try to stay in the AC if you can. If you have asthma, you have lung issues, not a great idea to be outside. Check on your neighbors, especially if they're elderly. Watch little kids because they're not going to be able to tell you, or they can tell you, but they're not going to know those signs of extreme heat. Watch your pets as well. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. The thing about having high dew points, I mean, it's one thing to have 100 degrees in Arizona when you have dry humidity, but over here by us, we have lots of humidity coming in from the south, and I can show you that looking at the surface dew point temperatures. I mean, all that advection of dews is coming in from that ridge that's basically setting up. So you cannot sweat normally during conditions like this. What happens is, sweating is a cooling mechanism, right? So as we sweat, it helps to cool us off. It allows for evaporation, which is a cooling process. But when it's so humid outside, your sweat isn't evaporating. Therefore, you're not cooling. And at some point, if you stop sweating, that's kind of like a danger sign. Because of this, the Weather Service right here, we are in the orange colors are indicating your heat advisories. That's going to be in effect for all the counties you see here. I will label them off for you. Our viewing area is 11 counties. So we have Sheboygan, Fond du Lac, Dodge County, Washington, Ozaukee, Waukesha, Jefferson, and also into Walworth counties. These are under heat advisories. Not excessive. They changed the name. Extreme heat warning in effect for Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha. That is going to be from noon on Saturday until 7 p.m. on Monday. That is an extremely long time to be under heat advisories, extreme heat warnings. What that basically means is you can just go to their website and click on it. You can go to our website and click on it. But what this basically means is that, heat related illnesses, heat index values above or up to 105. And right here, Heat indices will also stay at 75 degrees or above Sunday and Monday morning. So what that means is that the overnight hours, you're not getting relief either. So that's why heat is kind of a compounding factor. So you're hot one day, yes, you're not getting any relief overnight. You get to the next day, you're much more susceptible to a heat related illness. So take this seriously. Air conditioned rooms, stay out of the sun, check on your neighbors, watch the pets. If the back of your hand touches blacktop and it's too hot for you, it's too hot for those paw pads. I have indoor cats. They should always be indoor, by the way, if you want them to stay alive long. But it's also something that I do practice. But, as far as this weekend goes, just make sure that you're just being safe. It's our first heat wave of the year. It's quite frankly a little early. Usually we get some of these stretches at the end of July, early August. So that's really all I have for you today. It's just these couple things. We have the showers now, the heat later. I'm actually going to be out of town next week, so you won't get an update from me. I'm going to the American Meteorological Society broadcast weather conference in Boise, Idaho. I may post an update or two on my Instagram, but I usually try to stay kind of quiet on social media unless there's something super serious that I need to chime in for. But I hope you guys have a great week. Molly and Gina are going to fill in for me while I'm gone, and I will see you when I get back.